Hi, I'm Brittany Cicino.
And I'm Caitlin College.
And we are reporting to you about Little Rock 9 students. Little Rock 9 citizens have elected 2 men to the school board who publicity back desegregation, and the school superintendent, Virgil Blossom, began planning desegregation soon after Brown versus Board.
They were 9 African Americans who had volunteers to interrogate Little Rock Central High School as the first step in Blossom's plan.
Little Rock 9 were 9 African Americans who had volunteered to integrate Little Rock Central High School as one step in Blossom's plan.
Elizabeth Eckford, the girl who didn't come with the other 8, made it to the bus stop where 2 friendly whites stayed with her.
Federal judge ordered Fabus to let students into the school.
End of the year, Fabus shut down Central High rather than let integration continue.
The Little Rock 9 people that were there are Carolina Walls, Jefferson Thomas, Gloria Ray, Ernest Green, Elizabeth Eckford, Thelma Mothershed, Terrence Roberts, Magine Brown, and Melba Pladilo.
Thank you for listening.
Thanks.
Have a good day.
Have a horrible day!
She's mean.
What about you, sir? Do you think the colored students will show up?
If I got anything to do with it, they won't show up. Well, I think it's a breaking point of the school integration. I just don't feel that they have a right to go to school with them.
It is easy to believe today that we are an enlightened society, free from problems of race, gender, or economic separation. But some of the most difficult lessons we learn are a result of individuals who push us through these divisive barriers. In September of 1957, 9 black school children, the eldest only 17, forced us through such a blockade. They sought a better education for themselves and the opportunity to pursue the American dream.
This is Central High School, Little Rock, Arkansas. Troops, which for nearly 3 weeks lined the sidewalk here in front of the high school under orders to keep the colored students out, have been replaced now. And their orders to comply with the law, which means let the Negro students in if they come in.
We were Terrence Roberts, Jefferson Thomas, Thelma Mothershed, Elizabeth Eckford, Ernest Green, Carlotta Walls, Melba Patillo, Minnie Jean Brown, and Gloria Ray.
They became known as the Little Rock 9. The 1954 Supreme Court ruling on Brown versus the Board of Education found segregation of schools unconstitutional. But as the Little Rock 9 approached the high school, segregationists swarmed the campus.
They got no business out here. This is our school, not theirs. They have their own.
As the violence escalated, one schoolgirl, Elizabeth Eckford, was threatened by an angry mob chanting, "Lynch her, lynch her." President Dwight Eisenhower intervened in Little Rock and set a precedent for our nation as a whole.
Such an extreme situation has been created in Little Rock. This challenge must be met, and with such measures as will preserve to the people as a whole their lawfully protected rights in a climate permitting their free and fair exercise. In the present case, the troops are there pursuant to law solely for the purpose of preventing interference with the orders of the court.
On September 25, 1957, the 101st Airborne Division and 10,000 National Guard troops escorted the Little Rock 9 as they walked bravely past screaming mobs and made their way to the classrooms of Little Rock Central High School.
Just got a report here on this end that the students are in.
Do you feel it's worth it going through this?
Yes, I do.
These 9 heroes were willing to step forward and in doing so altered the course of history. Marquette University is honored to bestow upon them the Pierre Marquette Discovery Award for this extraordinary contribution to the advancement of education for all people. The Little Rock Nine stand not just for racial equality, but also for the promise upon which our society is founded: opportunity and equality for all willing to strive, struggle, and achieve.
Joining me now are 3 of the white students who admit in one form or another to being part of that ugliness in Little Rock. This is Ann Burleson. As she appeared in 1957, she was chanting the words 2468, "We don't want to integrate." And Ann says she is now ashamed of that schoolyard chant. Jean Porter regrets being a silent witness to the crimes by fellow white students, including seeing them put thumbtacks on Melba's chair and also witnessing boys in gym urinating on the lockers of Ernest Green. And David Sontag came here today, he says, to apologize to Minnie Jean for an altercation in the cafeteria. What happened?
Oh, I just went in the cafeteria and I'd sort of been dared by other kids, to retaliate for Minnie Jean for having poured chili on someone's head earlier. And so I did it. But it was not done out of hate.
What was it done out of?
It was just done out of ignorance. Mm-hmm. Of not understanding her plight. Mm-hmm. And the plight of all of them. We didn't really know. We weren't walking in their shoes. We didn't put ourselves in their shoes. And I know that I didn't treat them the way I would have wanted to be treated.
How did you treat them?
I don't necessarily remember being ugly, straightforward to any of them individually, but just being a part of a group that would, chant and say negative things.
Mm-hmm. Are you the reason Minnie Jean was expelled?
I may be part of the reason.
Uh-huh. So you came here today, what?
I am genuinely sorry for any negative things that I did at that time. I was really acting as a child that was not prepared for the moment.
Mm-hmm. And you are now here because you were shamed.
Yes, I am. Mm-hmm. I knew Carlotta just because she had a locker close to me, and we would, And
that's how I recognized you off the bat. I remember you. I remember your smile. I remember your eyes. I remember your cat calls. You used to get me coming out of English class, walking down the hall. You remember that? And I've never forgotten your name. I've never forgotten your name. Never, ever.
Was he not nice to you?
He was insidious because he was continuous. He was like relentless.
Does his apology mean anything to you?
I would like to come forward and apologize. Sure.
Yeah, it means a lot to us.
Since I walked out here.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
I wish you only good.
Yeah, thank you.
And you better listen than you.
Well, this is why our show was absolutely groundbreaking and, as far as I'm concerned, defined itself as a cultural icon. The show did. In our ability to reach not only just the pinnacle of the story, to tell the story, but to also reach for